Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip, and it's Wednesday, May 13th, and I want to do a quick, important video update on the new stimulus proposal that was put forth by Democrats in the House of Representatives yesterday, May 12th. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Social Security benefits and who doesn't qualify for the stimulus and some of the latest things that are being discussed. So it's an important video, especially because this new stimulus proposal is $3 trillion. And that's the largest stimulus aid package in American history. So thanks again for watching and all your support and subscribing. It means so much to us. So let's dive in. The new House stimulus bill, I'm going to leave a link to this in the description, but again, it's still in the House, so we're still talking about probably at least a couple weeks away, 2 to 3 weeks away, if it continues to progress in the House, then go to the Senate. But here is what's in it. Okay, so again, this is on the HelloSkip.com blog. More funding for unemployment, the SBA, and essential workers. The first thing that's very important for unemployment, as we reported last week, a lot of states are running out of money and they're having to borrow from the federal government. California is one such of these states. So that's quite serious if unemployment benefits and unemployment insurance dries up and 20% of the country is unemployed. That's a serious problem. So there's more funding for unemployment, the SBA to give out more loans, and more funding for essential workers. So I'm going to point out a couple of things here. So here, $1 trillion will go to state and local governments to protect the jobs of essential workers like frontline medical staff and teachers. That's $1 trillion out of $3 trillion. The $200 billion HEROES Fund will go to hazard pay for essential workers. $10 billion in additional funding to the Small Business Administration for EIDL loans. That's huge. As reported, the new limit is $150,000. As far as we know, that's not going to change, but that remains to be seen. But as a small business, you can apply for up to $150,000 EIDL loan. Again, that's after the up to $10K advance. But that's really good news that there's going to be $10 billion more proposed for the SBA EIDL program. We've reported lots of times how massively popular that program has been. Then there's going to be an extension of weekly federal unemployment benefits, the $600 boost through January 2021. So it was set to expire, I believe, in July. It was about a 3-month window. So this will basically extend that for another 6 months. Set to expire in July. And more protections for workers and enhanced tax credits to employers to incentivize keeping people on payroll and off unemployment. Okay, so those are the big ones. The other piece is for coronavirus testing, care, and contact tracing programs. Now, the last bill even had a large amount of money set aside to testing and contact tracing, but I think as we found out in the last few weeks, more testing and more contact tracing is the only way people are going to be safe enough to open businesses. Our regions, our cities will be safe enough to open without increasing deaths. So that's good news. And the last but not least, more direct aid to you. So this is more stimulus, more direct stimulus, and it's more than the first one. So I'll just hit the highlights here. A second round of larger stimulus checks that would provide $1,200 per person for up to $6,000 in aid per family. So that's an increase of obviously what we've already received. Okay, so this has been put forth. Now there's going to be some Republican pushback, and there is already, but again, it looks like there'll be some back and forth in the next week. Let's see how it develops, and if there are modifications made to it, and something that the Republicans will agree on. So let's see. Okay, the last thing I'll point out here is the $175 billion in housing assistance funding. So that's really good news too. Obviously, this is a massive amount of money, and this is of course going to eventually be somehow funded by us as taxpayers. But what's come out today, I mean, the previous days, but the head of the feds said that we need much more aid. Okay, so that's kind of the message that's coming across to really keep our economy and our livelihoods in a good spot. We need to do this. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted. Two more blog posts we put on the Hello Skip blog today, and I'll leave links to them. I'm not going to go through them all now, but one is that Social Security recipients are beginning to receive stimulus checks, and so it's about that. This is in fact 8 million people who rely on Social Security benefits. So those are going out. So you can read what's been happening there and what that means if this involves you, and then who doesn't qualify for a stimulus check. Okay, we've talked about a lot about what you can get, but of course there are groups of people that won't get stimulus checks, namely if your income is too high, or you're an adult listed as a dependent on someone else's taxes, or if you don't have a Social Security number. Those are the three main reasons, but you can, again, I'll leave links to all this. One thing we put up on the Skip dashboard today is this question here. And do you feel the stimulus check was enough to cover your needs? Now, I think we knew what the answer was going to be. We just wanted to really get some survey data behind it. The vast majority of people have said no. And here's the latest results. Well, over 95%. This is on your Skip dashboard if you want to give your input too. As I've mentioned in the past, we do write letters and publish some of the survey data. For example, the New York Times, one of their reporters on the SBA is looking at some of our aggregate EIDL data, some of this tracking data too. So it really helps, when you're self-reporting, leaving survey data. It means a lot at helloskip.com or helloskip.com/loan-tracking if you're not tracking your EIDL advance yet. And I appreciate you watching. Before I sign off, I want to give a quick dedication. Since you've watched the video this far, my father, Bill Pierce, passed away over the weekend, and he was in broadcasting his whole life and educational television. Since so much of what we have been doing is in education and helping people, I wanted to share this personal note. He, died peacefully in New York, and I was fortunate enough to be there with some other family in his final days, and he made a big impact in Rochester, New York. Really proud of him, and just wanted to share that. I'll leave a link if you're curious, but so much of what he did in public broadcasting was to educate the public and have this civic-minded approach to kind of serving and entertaining the community. So this is dedicated to him. Thanks so much again for watching, and I hope wherever you are, you're staying home, staying safe, and staying healthy. Thanks.